Positive possibilities are all around you. It's just a matter of training the mind to see those elements that bring success and create a legacy of integrity, hard work, and giving back for the next generation. It takes a trained mind to focus your sights on things that seem impossible and make them possible. I realized that everything I've learned and earned originated from positive possibilities, hidden opportunities that led to more success than I could ever imagine.
Everything you do, you have to have a game plan. And if you follow that, you'll be very, very successful. The story of my father is one that always gave me a destination that I was always trying to get to. My dad was almost killed by the Ku Klux Klan, carried into another state, unconscious, not knowing where he was. When he was working with the master in Mississippi, he was quiet. He learned a lot. And I've carried that with me. A lot of time I'll be quiet. You never learn anything when you're talking. The only time you learn is when you're listening. Most people don't understand that. They always told me, said, you're more like your dad than any of them. And although I never remember my dad because he died when I was 2 years of age. But the values that people talked about that he had and the drive and how honest he was in giving to people, I said, you know, I'd like to be like that. And I followed that dream of being like my dad. My mother was very well educated. She went to Tuskegee. She studied science under Dr. George Washington Carver. She taught school. And she, working along with my father, they had begun to build this enterprise. And when he died, she had to find out, what am I going to do? So she pulled us all around the table and she said, you know, your dad and I had great plans. And I don't see no reason why we can't carry these plans out. But I need everybody to pull their own load. You all know the responsibilities and chores that you have. Let's keep doing them. And we will, from time to time, plan our work as going forward and then work our plan. Everybody felt proud by outdoing the other, picking more pecans than the other one did, picking more beans, cutting more corn than the other one did. It became a game. So we were having fun. Some people said, boy, they work so hard. This lady said, Miss Jenkins, you're going to kill your son. She said, no, that's good for him.
Dr. Jenkins, his passion for living, for making a difference, for giving back is huge. Now, the world may already know that, but I would like to re-emphasize that because his heart is big and he looks for people who have passion to make a difference.
I was about 3 when I started working. We had a lot of pecan trees. In fact, we used to sell pecans. Well, I would pick up pecans and start off like that. And then we graduated to milking cows and graduated to driving the truck and then to driving the tractor. So when I was about 8, I was driving tractor. And they used to give me, they bought one tractor specifically for me. And they always wanted me to be the first one to plow because it has to be very accurate. And at an early age, I learned how to set the plows so I wouldn't run over the plants, the little baby plants and stuff like that. And but I enjoyed it. I loved it. I mean, I just loved the farm. It was just great. I had a great childhood, a happy childhood. I've been happy all my life. And I know a lot of people say, man, I wouldn't want to be doing that hard work. I enjoyed it. When you prepare ground and you plant something and you see it grow and mature and produce this bounty of food and stuff like that, you carry it to the market and they sell it, ship it to New York, Chicago, and all that stuff. Oh, you're seeing the growth and development and maturation of something living. I loved the farm so much until one day she sat me down and she said, well, Matthew, it's about time for you to think about going to college. I want you to go to Tuskegee. I said, go to Tuskegee? I said, I don't want to go to Tuskegee. I love it here. My mind was on staying there the rest of my life. I loved it. So she said, no, you can't stay here. I said, where am I going? She said, you figure that out. And I was just shocked, flabbergasted. I talked to my brothers and sisters. I told them, I said, Mom wants me to go to Tuskegee. I said, I guess I'll have to go. So I said, what is the hardest subject they have at Tuskegee? They said, veterinary medicine. I said, that's what I'll take. So I went and told Mom, I said, Mom, I'm going to Tuskegee and I'm going to take veterinary medicine. She said, great. That was one of the best decisions that she made for me. We wouldn't be sitting here today. Had it not been for that. My first year at Tuskegee, I was excited to meet all these new people from Africa and all over the United States and various countries and everything. That was a whole new horizon that opened up to me. By getting up early and walking that I learned at home, I happened to bump into the president of the university, Dr. Fred Patterson, and we struck up a conversation. So I got to the point where I started walking with him every morning. Dr. Patterson was the founder of the United Negro College Fund, and he became a friend of mine. And one day he told me, one day you're going to be very, very wealthy. And when you do, I want you to give back.
Dr. Jenkins, beyond the efforts at Tuskegee University, has been a major civic and academic organizational leader in his hometown in California. More recently, he was a major contributor to the renovation of the historic school at which Dr. George Washington Carver commenced his daunting educational agenda. Dr. Jenkins clearly is a distinguished 20th and 21st century figure. He's an individual whose accomplishments would occasion enormous interest and respect by children.
When I was my freshman year in veterinary school, she was a freshman. And I happened to have seen her, and I passed her several times, and she always made a great impression on me. I could tell by her basic mannerisms and everything that she came from a very good family. That's one thing I noticed.
Education has always been important to my family and to me because of circumstances of birth and growing up in the South. I was born in South Carolina. My father had a dairy farm. He owned a dairy farm, which was something very unusual for a black man. And he needed someone to milk the cows, of course. And there were 7 children, but there was 6 girls and 1 boy. And I'm the eldest of that family. But it was always knowing the things that were happening in the world and how we were being discriminated against and the kind of schools that we had. Education was always pushed by my parents as being the key to having a better life. And it was something that that I felt a great need to do. And as a matter of fact, my whole family attended college.
When I was in my senior year I said, I better find me somebody to carry with me, because if I don't, once I get this doctor behind me, I don't know who's going to come out of the woods and who they are. So I happened to have been up by the cafeteria, and she's walking down the stairs, and she had always very cheerful. Hi, Jenkins. And I said, hi, Jonesy. I call her Jonesy. And she kept questioning me. He said, everybody thinks you're a playboy. I said, playboy? I'm a playboy, all right. I play with my books. And I told her, I said, you look like the kind of girl that I might want to carry with me. And the thing that really topped it off, she called her mother and got okay for me to come visit the family. When I visited with her and them, it was just like me being at home. They had a farm just like we did. They were hard workers just like we were. They were in business independently, just the same way as we were. And the whole family was just as friendly, welcoming. And later on, I carried her home, and my family just fell in love with her. And to this day, we've never had any conflict on either side. When I went into service, they were going to send me to Greenland. And I recognized the fact at the time, in talking to some of the graduates, they sent most black veterinarians, they sent them to isolated duty stations. So here I'm going to go to Greenland. So we went to the Pentagon, and I talked to the general in charge. And he assured me that if I go on to Greenland and if I did a good job, they would let me name any assignment in the world that I wanted. Well, I went to Greenland. I noticed these animals and some people were dying for unknown reasons. So I got authority to start conducting research. And I started a research program on trying to find out what they were dying for, because the lab material that we sent to the headquarters lab in Massachusetts, they all came back negative for rabies. To me, it was positive for rabies in my mind, but I had never seen a rabies case, but I read about it. So I kept getting these negative reports. And then I contacted the Secretary of Defense and asked if I could send my specimens to the World Health Center in London. And when I did that, the red lights went on. The Secretary of Defense started corresponding and dealing with me directly. And I had 2 helicopter crews available to me at all times. And we flew all over the country, testing and setting up a disease control program I set up for the whole country. My game plan was to work 7 days a week and take night calls 7 nights a week, build up my practice, and I wanted to get out at 45 years of age. And so the practice just grew and grew and grew and grew. And I was going to invest in real estate because I had been reading over the years that most American millionaires made their money from some form of real estate. So I started investing in real estate. And I had these apartments, 40 of them, and 40 units, and we were having almost a lot of trouble. But the mobile home park that I was forced to either give up my deposit or take a chance on buying it myself, because all the partners that were going to go in with me, they petered out on me, disappeared. So what do?
Matt's spirit is positive. He believes in a future that he will work toward realizing. So that's the positive part. Possibilities, there's the hopefulness part. So he has the vision and the hope and the drive to realize it.
We noticed that seemed to have been the best investment. And because of positive possibilities, we took it. And of course, the next is history.
Positive Possibilities has just been part of my life because I've been there for all of these years with the things that he's been working with and doing. So it's had a great impact on me because we've kind of lived it together.
The training that we got from our parents, that was built into the culture of the Jenkins, of sharing, of giving, of honesty, of integrity, of high expectations. This was part of my culture. That's all I know. That's all we knew. And as a result, I've got two brothers that were Tuskegee Airmen. I've been happy all my life. Success has always been around me and my whole family. We give. We give. Philanthropy has been the hallmark of all the Jenkins experiences as part of our history. And I think we all understood by the action of our parents in terms of sharing, giving. It rubbed off on all of us. And I was serving on quite a few boards, and Claremont asked me about coming on that board, and I told him I didn't have the time. But President John McGuire, who was a friend of Martin Luther King, he kept pushing me.
I would think the two traits that Dr. Jenkins and I have in common are persevering. We both we put our hand to the plow and stay with it. And the other is vision, thinking of a range of things. And the touchstone in Matt's case is race. He is steadfast on racial equality. As time went on and they got to know Claremont very well, it was clear that a collaborative done with the Harvey Mudd College, one of the undergraduate colleges in Claremont, would be ideal if they could get the students to serve as the teachers, that is the college students, and could get the students from Long Beach all the way up to Claremont.
We take these black students who've never been exposed, and not only do we teach them about science, but we also teach them about values, expectations, the attitude, the things that are necessary if you're going to be successful. We got some programs going at Long Beach State similar to that, in which we fund these black kids getting a master's in arts. We're here to help other people, not just ourselves.
I would be surprised to know how much Jenkins has given away. Matthew Jenkins has given away, and there's a man that his gifts actually promote his beliefs.
Jordan is a wonderful high school. I love it here because we can make a difference with the young people here, and you can see it when you make a difference. We have graduated every student who has come through our program. We have registered every student into a four-year institution or community college. We have 10 students at Cal State Long Beach. And it's not always easy because this population and this environment is not always conducive to and supportive of making a difference with our young people.
The Math Collaborative, supported by Dr. Jenkins and directed by Ms. Robinson, kind of changed my life for the better. Without them, I really wouldn't have been college bound. And now that I'm in college in my second year, I kind of took everything they taught me throughout the 4 years that I've been actively involved in the program to kind of help me with school over there at Cal State Long Beach. Once I first met Dr. Jenkins, he gave me a talk about having a game plan. And with a game plan, it's kind of like having different strategies for success, knowing that every option may not work, so you have to have backup ideas and backup plans with it.
The Math Collaborative Program, supported by Dr. Jenkins and directed by Ms. Robinson, has been a huge impact to the Jordan family, the Jordan campus. What has happened is that you see less discipline problems, you see the students more connected, and the students are more inspired to learn.
I have a quote from Dr. Matthew and Roberta Jenkins, which I would like to read. It reflects their intentions and their spirit. My greatness in life is defined by what I am able to give back to the community. The ability to have a positive impact on the lives of these children who start this program will produce results that will spill over into every area of their lives. I feel privileged to be part of a program that has captured the enthusiasm of the teachers, students, and the community.
The major contributing forces to my success, and I think everybody in my family's success, has to do with our parents, who taught us to be honest, hardworking, driven, have high expectations, and to think that whatever you want to do, you could do it. That was their mantra. If a job was to be done, it should be done well. You do it once.
I met Dr. Jenkins sometime in the mid-1980s as a faculty member. We have young people who really need to be exposed to the kind of individuals as Dr. Jenkins, President Jenkins is. I think beyond that, there are challenges that we all face, including himself, especially with the new possibilities that is upon us, with the new president of the country, with the world in a bit of a turmoil, I guess I would say that personally. The leadership, such as that of Dr. Jenkins, could be very useful and could be helpful and powerful, encouraging for us to know the kinds of possibilities that the future holds.
I kept getting, over the years, responses from my lectures and talks at various universities. And people, after the program, they would come up and say, "You have a book or something I could read?" I said, "No." So one day a guy said, "Let me say this to you. It's not about you. It's about them. It's about the other people. There are a lot of people that can use this knowledge and information that you have." He says, "Very good." He said, "I had heard you 15 years ago, and a lot of time the thing you said I thought was crazy, but I want you to know that you were right on target." And that's how I got the idea about writing a book. And I'm on the 3 years and going on the 4th year now. But I'm hoping that if someone wants to be successful, if they have the desire and the discipline to work hard and follow it, they can be successful.
I had never thought till this very moment of Matt Jenkins and Martin Luther King. They both have a quality about them that make them stand out. And so I'll certainly treasure my time with Dr. King as I treasure my time now with Matthew Jenkins.
My book is about positive possibilities and how you develop a goal and a game plan for accomplishing positive possibilities. Everything you do, you have to have a game plan. And if you follow that, you'll be very, very successful. And you will learn that when you reach something that's difficult, you will not look at the negative aspect, but first you will try and chase down the positive possibilities that you can get out of that entity at that given time. And use a game plan and a goal for reaching it.